Hey, welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel over here in the Miami studios after a brilliant radio show, if I must say so myself. Be boots on the ground tonight, so I wanted to get some thoughts here. Talked a little bit about this on the radio show, but I wanted to dive more into this Tyreek Hill thing. If you guys didn't see it, I'm sure the Dolphin fan is up to date with Tyreek Hill and his walkout this season, where he, walked out on the team basically in the middle of a game. Had no more time to be on the field. He had already been through enough that season. He decided, you know what, F this, I'm out of here. And then, of course, he had this whole press conference afterwards where he basically was like, am I out? Are you out? He didn't want to do it. He was upset. That had been revealed, that it would have been a bad look if he didn't speak, which I understand that being a hard spot for athletes to be in sometimes, because you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I really didn't have as much of a problem with the comments as I did with the walkout. Like the whole view of like Jalen Waddle, like basically on the field saying, "Cheetah, you done?" And then it's like, yeah, rats off a ship. I'm out of here. So Tyreek Hill has had a couple of comments in the meanwhile. He came out on social media and made it be known that he is going to come back basically better than ever, that he is going to come back and any questions about his future, he says, "I will come back stronger and faster." This is like, all right, that's cool. Good to hear. And then he was on a Twitch stream in which he had basically explained himself as to why his comments came off the way they did at the end of the season.
What y'all had heard at the end of the season is frustration, bro. Like, this, bro, I've been winning my whole life, bro. I don't understand, bro. Like, I bust my ass every day. So I deserve to feel like that. I deserve to have some kind of opinion. Y'all just want me to say, oh well, get them next shit. Nah, that. We got to come back. Like, we got to put some pressure on. Like, hey, bro. Like, y'all got to fix this shit, bro. Like, come on. Add some dogs in this bitch. I compete. Like, I love to compete, bro.
All right, there you go. That was Tyreek Hill in the midst of playing some kind of video game on Twitch. And, I don't disagree with a lot of his message. I think that the Miami Dolphins, first of all, yeah, there is pressure that if he feels like he's got to put on the organization to make the right moves, we certainly need that to happen. If you're a Dolphin fan and you're watching around and you're seeing Vic Fangio up and leave and get to the Super Bowl, you're watching the Bills, what was supposed to be a step back year, get to win within, plays of being in the Super Bowl, which, by the way, I was not in favor of rooting for the Buffalo Bills. I never had any interest in rooting for the Buffalo Bills. And this is coming from somebody, I am annoyed by the Chiefs. I'm annoyed by the Chiefs. I'm annoyed by their fans. I'm annoyed by their antics. I'm annoyed by the refs cheating for them. But I will take all of that in favor of the Buffalo Bills making the Super Bowl. I have no interest in that right now. Task at hand, and in the midst of petty watching, which I am very prevalent in. I mean, like LeBron going back to the Cleveland Cavaliers, if you think that I wasn't in full petty mode watching every single time, nobody was a bigger Raptors fan than me. I mean, it always ended futile because he did get past it, but then I was like, great, KD to the Warriors, whatever keeps LeBron away from rings in Cleveland. Nobody has been more mad at Draymond Green for punching him in the nuts to get suspended than me, because, yeah, that's the kind of petty watcher I am. But getting back to Tyreek Hill's whole thing of, I deserve to have some kind of comment on it, I would say, first of all, I think you do lose a little bit of credibility with how the season ended. Like, if you would have saw it through to the finish line without just the caveat of, but I didn't finish the last game. I didn't want to go out there anymore. Seemingly costing a wide receiver coach's job in Wes Welker, because there was tardiness issues that had inflicted this entire season. Look, we all know what the guy is capable of. We know that he's one of the best players in the league, but we also realize that this can be a guy where, all right, if things aren't going to go well, or the first sign of things not going well led to this, what is going to happen if another one of those goes? Is he going to ride through it? Is he going to stick it out? Or is he really going to be like, nope, I'm done. This time the peace sign is get me the hell out of the organization. I do think the Dolphins really have to ask that. On its face, you could say, hey, the Miami Dolphins in no way, shape, or form can be better with Tyreek Hill away from this team. But if you just look to your own division rival with Buffalo, like they had a lot of issues with Stephon Diggs and everything that they were going on there. You know, you take out a lot less drama, and it really wasn't an issue the entire year. You look at the team that he left in Kansas City, and yeah, they've had some offensive lapses for sure, but the winning hasn't stopped. And I do think that, like, you look over this weekend and you're like, all right, well, how many monster receiver plays were there this past week? You know, it was all run game and, you know, quarterbacks converting on third down, some big plays on scrambles and whatnot. Like, yeah, A.J. Brown maybe had a nice little shine every now and then. Scary Terry had some moments. But this wasn't really, and it really wasn't a playoffs where, like, the receiver has shown out. I think, if anything, it's been like a downfall for sure-handed tight ends that have come out and messed up. So, I don't know, man. I do think that the Dolphins, I would like Tyreek Hill to come back more motivated, put it all behind him, be in a position where, you know, he is going to be there through the ups and downs. But I'm not going to act like I'm not skeptical already and being like, all right, it was all good when, you know, everything was gunning for Cheetah 2K. But as soon as it's like, well, now I got to spend these games blocking because Tua can't stay healthy. I don't know, because, like, let's face the reality of it, right? What is Tua's health status going to be? We don't know. You know, we don't know if Tua's going to be able to make it through a season. We don't know if Tua's, you know, like, how many times is that going to wear on Tyreek Hill before he's like, I just can't take this anymore, you know? I felt like that was kind of a window into that when we saw this year. I'm not here to say that he's washed, and I'm not here to say he's fallen off. But I do wonder, like, all right, you brought him here, and I think it was very, very key. Tyreek Hill brought a national confidence to the Miami Dolphins, brought a bit of a swagger to the Miami Dolphins. He put a lot of fear in defenses for sure. Hell, the way that the Miami Dolphins were defended was basically, hey, do not let Tyreek Hill beat us. So obviously he's a very effective player. Okay? I'm not going to deny the guy's credentials. But then you also have to wonder, all right, well, has this run its course as well? You know, has this gotten to the point where, like, we need to put it more in the hands of, very clearly, there was a shift in throwing to Jonnu Smith. Jalen Waddle had a down year, but you still pay him handsomely. And before you get to the next time Tyreek Hill does absolutely explode on somebody or doesn't, you know, act as disciplined as maybe the coach wants or whatever, you know, shouldn't you just get out in front of it and be like, hey, who could use this guy's services and let's just move on? Because it's not like the Dolphins have no weapons. It's not like the Dolphins have nobody that they could also throw to or give the ball to. I don't know. I just think from my standpoint, I can't blame the Dolphins if they go in another direction from Tyreek Hill this offseason. I just think it was that big a deal for the way that it ended. And I get it. He went through a lot this year between what happened in front of the stadium week one, between dealing with the wrist injury. I know that's why Drew Rosenhaus went to bat for him and is like, hey, you know, you got guys who weren't even out there, you know, namely the quarterback who had this hip injury in the concussions. I'm not here to tell you that Tyreek Hill isn't physically tough, like, very clearly. But I do think that when you start seeing this stuff and you wonder to yourself, all right, it's two things. If the Dolphins really felt like if I thought the Dolphins were really, really close, you know, like really still close, then I would say, screw it, dude. Like, bring back Tyreek Hill and just run it back and see what happens. But I think we can all look at the Dolphins and be like, I don't know if they're close. I don't know. I don't think they're close to the Bills. Like, they don't seem close to the Bills. It seems like the Jets will probably take a step back this year, but who knows? The Patriots, I'm not going to give them like the benefit of the doubt yet. But as far as the Dolphins being on the doorstep, like I think every Dolphin fan is looking at these teams that have made it far, and you're like, do you feel like they're close to that? Does it feel close or does it feel far? Does it feel like you're a Tyreek Hill away? And I think the answer is no right now. And if you're the Dolphins and you come to that conclusion, if you're Mike McDaniel, right? Like Mike McDaniel's out here and he's letting everybody know, well, you can clearly finding didn't work. Yeah, like why would it work for Tyreek Hill? It makes $1 gazillion. Why is that? Why would you think that's going to be an effective means? Like you got to nip this in the bud. And if you couldn't nip it in the bud, maybe you think he didn't respect Wes Welker, or maybe you think that bringing in a new wide receiver coach, is gonna change those things and is gonna bring you to a spot where it's like, oh, we got a new guy now. Who's our new guy? What's this guy named? Robert Prince. We're bringing Robert Prince now. Tyreek's gonna respect that guy a little bit more. Maybe. I can't rule it out. But when that happened, I'm like, all right, maybe it is time to close the Cheetah chapter and get what you can for him and stock up and move in another direction. Obviously, because look, I'm sure from his standpoint, being as good as he has been, even though from big time drops in big games, being as good as he has been, and everybody laughing at him basically because look what you did, dude. You chose to go to Miami, you took the money, and the team that you left has done nothing but win without you. That's all they've done is just win. That's all they've done. And I'm sure that's got to weigh on a guy's ego, for sure. I get that. So with the Dolphins, they really have to ask themselves, all right, next time this issue hops up, do we really think that Tyreek Hill is going to get through it okay? I don't know. And even with him saying, we got to put pressure on him, we got to get some mother bleeping dogs in here. It's like, yeah, I think the message is right. Is the messenger right for that right now? I don't know. I think that's going to ring hollow a little bit with the way the season ended for him.